one of the first things that I noticed was actually more of a sharpness of my brain and of my thinking. And it's funny because one of my friends, we were sitting in a conference, and typically we have these annual conferences. Typically I'm sitting and I'm fidgeting around and I'm moving and I'm really struggling to focus. But actually she noticed since taking the Omega, she was like, wow, you're able to actually focus. Like she can tell that I was focusing for longer periods of time. So that was one of an outsider's perspective looking in. That was pretty cool. And then fast forward to, I'm an athlete. I played rugby. So I had a lot of injuries. Having more of a plant-based Omega has actually helped me recover from my injuries. Sometimes you don't know how valuable something is until you lose it. And I noticed that. I actually ran out of my Omegas and I started just feeling really sore. And so I had multiple shoulder surgeries. It was painful. It was way more painful than typical. And my workouts didn't change, as well as just day-to-day stuff that I was doing didn't change. So I realized not taking the Omegas actually, I had more inflammation in my joints. So some of the older injuries flared up. I noticed that, as well as cognitively, I was just more tired. I have an astigmatism in my eye, in my left eye. And they actually were able to change my contact prescription based on me taking these Omegas. That was the only thing that I changed in the last 2 years in regards to my diet and exercise.
My journey has to do with first being prescribed fish oil about back in 2004 when I became very ill with autoimmune issues. And I took fish oil for years, burps, bad, oh, but top of the line. I mean, if I named the brand, my endocrinologist had done research and recommended this fish oil to me. I started reading about contamination with mercury and things like that being in the fish and then being in the fish oil. And then also started thinking about all this fish oil sitting in warehouses. And when it gets hot, you know how oil gets rancid? And I thought, unless it's cold storage, how do I know that I'm getting the quality? So I switched myself to a plant-based Omega. And I have to tell you, the first thing that I noticed was I no longer was spending time asking my husband to help me find my car keys or my glasses that I need for reading. I quit misplacing things. And the other dramatic improvement that I saw was my word recall. You know how sometimes you are struggling to find the right word to express yourself? That doesn't happen to me anymore. And I've just noticed an improvement in my skin tone. I can have more of a plant glow. And my nails are stronger.
So my name's Sherry Gerber, and I'm not someone that ever really took vitamins or supplements. And so for years I saw these people taking fish oil, and there was just something about fish oil that didn't make sense to me. It just grossed me out. So for me to add an oil to my diet of any kind wasn't something I ever really thought I would do. I didn't really think I was deficient in omegas. Honest to God, in about 6 months, I already have really thick, strong hair. And I've been wearing my hair shorter because before the omegas, my hair was down to my butt. I had really long hair. And my hair started growing so much faster. Instead of going every 7 to 8 weeks, I have to go every 5 to 6 weeks to get my hair colored because I do have gray hair. This isn't my natural color. And that was something my hairdresser noticed as well. My hair just wasn't breaking off and it just was growing so fast. And the only thing I had done was add those omegas. And then I also noticed that for the first time in my life, I had really strong, healthy nails. I never had that. And I also recently had to get my first pair of reading glasses. I'm in my mid-40s and it's time. And I had my eyes examined and she just commented on how healthy they were. I know that has a lot to do with getting the omegas.
Whether or not you have children, I know that you have all, even if you haven't experienced it, you've all heard of mom brain. I have 3 kids. You hear about mom brain, but they've actually realized that this is a real phenomenon. It's called postnatal depletion. So even if you don't have young children at all yourselves, you for sure all of someone who's either pregnant, has a newborn, or has young children. So when we are pregnant, those babies suck all of our omegas out of our brains. We give it to them. We give it all. That's what moms do. And it is also shown that it takes the moms 10 years to recoup their omegas naturally. When new moms are feeling exhausted and lethargic and have a brain fog and can't remember where they put things, one of the things is because of this postnatal depletion. So I absolutely experienced all of those things when my children were babies, and On top of those, I also lost tremendous amounts of hair. It was so thin up front, I was going bald. My fingernails that had always been very long and strong and healthy were breaking and brittle and just tearing off. I was always tired. Like, it didn't matter. Even if I drank, 2 or 3 cups of coffee, I was still exhausted. And then I would go to bed and I couldn't sleep. I was introduced to them about 2.5 years ago. I know I've seen changes from them. My hair is growing so fast, and I know how quickly it's growing by how often I have to go dye my roots. And my fingernails are really healthy and strong, and I sleep better than I have in years.